So today I feel led to talk about the Good Samaritan, and you can find the story in Luke chapter 10. So this is a parable. Jesus spoke in parables a lot in the New Testament when he walked the earth because it was such great lessons for us to learn about how to operate as the hands and feet of Jesus. And I wholeheartedly feel grieved sometimes when I look around and people are not operating as the hands and feet. A lot of people do not know this about me, but I give a lot to the community. My children and I have moments or throughout months that we give to the community, whether it's something as simple as making sure that they have a hot meal, that they have snacks, or that they just hear an encouraging word. These are people who are unhoused in the communities that we live in that are experiencing homelessness. And so I've always had a heart for the community. Since I gave my life to the Lord, I've always had a heart for that. And I started doing something about it as much as I could with my resources, just to share the love of God in a tangible way and be the hands and feet and mouth of Jesus to people who are sometimes overlooked. Like, people don't see them. And one of the things that I've taught my children as they've been growing up, like, I don't think anyone would choose to be in that situation where they're going through addiction, they're going through homelessness on the street, right? On the street corner, in the street, living in a way that's very impoverished. And so I want to be the person that sees them. I don't want to just drive past. I don't want to just walk past. I want to be able to offer them an encouraging word, or just whether it's food, whether it's just some water, or whatever it is that I can give them. And I've done that several times, and I've also instilled that into my children. So today I just wanted to encourage you, as you are wherever you are, in your city, in your town, in your neighborhood, in your workplace, there is someone that needs you to be the Good Samaritan. There is someone that needs you to see them. I pray that God places them on your heart so that you would just be the hands and feet of Jesus. Like, we come to know Jesus by faith, right? But and it's someone that we can't see. We can feel his presence. Some of us have seen him in different ways. You know, we all have our own experience with the Lord. But we see people every day. We see someone at our jobs every day. We see the single mom. We see the divorced mom. We see the person who is hurting, the person who is sad, the person who may have a countenance of anger, but they're really sad inside. And we can be the hands and feet of Jesus to that person. We can offer a word of encouragement. We can also offer just some type of love, whatever that person needs. The Bible says that the harvest is great, but the laborers are few. And so the Lord of the harvest can send the laborers. I pray that if God is calling you or leading you to be a laborer in whatever capacity, that you may answer that call. Because there's people out here that are on their last leg. And they're thinking, if no one sees me, if no one touches me, if no one helps me, then this is the end. I don't even want to live anymore. But you can really be the hand and feet of Jesus, the mouth of Jesus, at the right time for somebody. And they are waiting for that experience. They are really begging and yearning for someone to see them, someone to love on them, right? It's people going through some real challenges. I know what that's like. When I went through a divorce, while my daughter was going through cancer treatment, while I was going through a very hard autoimmune disorder, while I couldn't work and I was struggling, I was in poverty, and no one saw me. No one saw me. And I remember how sad I felt. I just felt like, Lord, no one sees me. It's some real issues going on out here. People are really dealing with real life. And sometimes it's not about their choices. I couldn't help that my daughter was diagnosed with cancer. I couldn't help that I went through a autoimmune disorder that really had me looking a hot mess. I had no energy. My hormone was all over the place. I had like joint pain everywhere. My body was cramping up from my toes to my ankles to my back. everything, all this stuff was happening. I went through a divorce during this season, right? Life happens. We all will have a moment where we are dealing with the valley experience. We all will have a moment where we're dealing with rock bottom. I'm not wishing that on you, but if I did not go through those moments where I was not seen, where I felt like I was forgotten about, where I felt like I was overlooked, where I felt like I had mockers, right? I was dealing with Penina type spirits where I was trying to cry out to God as Hannah. I would never even have the heart to even care about the ones who are overlooked and forgotten about. And so I encourage you, like all of us, if all of us take up that responsibility to love our neighbor as we love ourselves, wow, the love of God can just spread to everybody. It's all about being his hands and his feet, sharing his love, having mercy on someone, showing grace to somebody who is at rock bottom. You don't know who that person is going to be next year or 5 years from now, but you can sow a seed of love into that person's life, right? You can water them, and then someone, right, what does it say? That some plant, some water, all this stuff. You have a purpose in that person's life to usher them through the tough season that they're navigating. And I can say that no one saw me. The people that I wanted to see, I wanted to see me, they didn't see me. But it was certain people who did see me. It's certain people that are near and dear to my heart that were there for me and my children, that was there for me. It's certain women of God, mentorship programs that I became a part of because I wanted to grow in the season that I was in during those times. So one of the things also, as I talk about the parable of the Good Samaritan, Luke chapter 10, right? This is a man who was going down from Jerusalem to Jericho, and he fell into the hands of robbers, right? He just fell into a situation. It's nothing that he was doing. He was minding his business. And someone came and robbed him. They beat him up. They stripped him, and they fled, and they left him half dead. How many times have you been in a situation, right, where someone came, you were minding your business, someone tried to come disturb your peace and left you half dead emotionally, left you half dead mentally, left you half dead financially? And some of us have even experienced where we have been left half dead physically because of physical abuse. But sometimes we forget where we came from. We forget what we went through. But you have to remember, the same way you went through that thing and God brought you out, there is someone that needs you to reach back and get them, right? You came through the fire and you don't smell like smoke. Thank God for that. But it's someone that's in the fire right now and they believe that they can't make it. They are thinking about throwing in the towel. They are thinking about ending it all because they believe that it won't get better. But you may have been in their situation. So reach back and help that person. Give back. Be the hands and feet of Jesus. So in this text, there was three people that walked past this man that was left for dead. Only one saw him, and it was the Good Samaritan. It was the Good Samaritan. I can go on and on about the other two people who had a title, who had the religious background where they should have looked out for their neighbor because they were taught these things. But the Samaritan person wasn't taught the things that those other two men were taught, right? But he loved his neighbor. And this man didn't get anything in return. It's not about having an ulterior motive. It's not about having a video in a person's face, showing the world, showing social media what you did for someone. But it's all about just blessing someone because that's what God would want you to do. That's what he did for you when you needed him, when you weren't where you are today, right? So I just want to encourage you with that. I pray that if God is calling you to be a laborer, that you will take up that mantle and be his hands, his feet, and his voice for someone that is crying out to him. Someone is crying out to him, and it's a blessing when we can be the answer to someone's prayer. You are the answer if you will listen and do the thing that God's calling you to do, to be the hands and feet and voice of Jesus in your neighborhood, in your community, in your home, in your family, in the school where your children attend, at your job, at your church. right? Right? Be blessed.